Songs of the Sky is the next contest by Better Photography Weekly Challenge. Our judge and mentor is Sarang Naik. He's a photographer and a cinematographer based in Mumbai. For Sarang, nature and wildlife photography has been an obsession for the past several years. He specializes in creative and abstract photography and always attempts to connect his images with strong human emotions or with the help of prose and poetry. He has won several awards, including the Tamron Challenge, Raju Harkare Memorial Wildlife Photography Contest, Wildlife India Photography Awards, Sanctuary Wildlife Photography Awards, and the Nature in Focus Photography Awards. Hello, Sarang. How have you been?
Hi, very good.
So we'll give it over to you.
Yes, sure. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Nilofer. I think I'll start sharing the screen. Okay, I hope you can see it properly.
Yeah, I can.
All right. So, yeah, the topic is Songs of the Sky. And just the first thing that comes to my mind is when I think of the theme is the images, like what I'm looking for is the images that are lyrical, that are poetic, visually speaking. So I think the first thing that you think of when you speak about the sky is, those typical landscapes, right? The wide angle landscapes with the land in the foreground and the sky in the background. While I won't discourage you from not shooting those, I would also ask you to experiment a bit more, go beyond that typical landscape. So I'm just going to give you a few pointers that might help you to create these images. These are not hard and fast rules, but it's just a few guidelines I would like to give you. Hang on. Yeah, okay. So beginning with the overall theme, yes, it can be a cloudscape, and right now, since all of us have a lot of clouds in the sky, that would be the obvious way to go. But don't just think just about clouds. Think about the sky in general, and you can include other elements. But also remember that the sky needs to be an important part of the image because so that it can stick to the theme. So as I said, think about lyrical or poetic or sort of images that flow really nicely, the composition that flows really well. Try to convey a feeling or an emotion through your images. Don't just get stuck with the technical aspects. It's good to think about the technical aspects, to experiment with those, but also in the end, think of what the end result will be. What are you trying to convey through your images? Is it a feeling, or is it a story? So think about that before you start creating the images. Secondly, use interesting juxtapositions. By that I mean create include elements that complement or contradict each other in the element, like in the image. Like don't you can shoot just the sky, like a close-up of the sky with the clouds or something, but it also helps sometimes to juxtapose the sky with a human element, like a building or a person or a bird, and that really changes how the image looks quite a lot. And lastly, use creative techniques. Try using blurs, intentional blurs, that I think I do a lot, and I'll just share you a couple of examples about that. But also think about uh, when you're pointing towards the sky, that's not the only way you can show the sky, right? You can show the sky through reflections. You can show it through refractions, like through a medium, say a glass or a prism or something like that. That can give you a very interesting uh, image, even in very mundane and boring situations. So here's a few of my examples. This is like a standard shot, right? You can get it from wherever you want. You can get it even with your smartphones. But if you're going to share an image like this, it needs to be exceptional, right? Because everybody shoots like this. So look for that beautiful light, evening light, that nowadays we are getting, a lot of us are getting. Wait for the right moment, wait for the right cloud to come, and try to arrange all the elements together properly, so that it will the image would really stand out among all the other participants. Or you can zoom in and sort of create this layered sort of image by including a few celestial objects. Now, the crescent moon is not there this week, but full moon will be there. So if you manage to get somewhat clear skies, and if you also manage to get good sunset colors, then you can create an image like this. Uh, Even if you have clouds, you can still shoot through the clouds. When there's lots of moonlight, you get some really amazing patterns and colors when the moonlight shines through the clouds. So don't just stick to the daylight images. Maybe try with moonlight, try also with starlight, and see what different kind of images you might get. Speaking of juxtapositions, again, see different things, try to put different things together along with the sky. And it will all depend on how you arrange them, what you try to do with them. Just remember to follow all the lockdown rules, whatever they are in your area. Just don't go out of your way just to get the image, and don't put yourself and others at risk. Um, you can also play around with the branches of trees around your house, right? This is a very basic, simple image. I actually shot with a macro lens. And this is a daytime image, like in the almost late morning. But just by including that branch, it kind of creates a nice story and a nice flow to that image, right? And maybe if I had kept it in focus, it would be a completely different image, but I've choose to keep it out of focus. And here it looks almost like a hand, right, reaching out to the moon. So try to create these metaphors in your images that will kind of enhance the meaning of what you're shooting. Um, Again, this is a nice image. I mean, I'd be happy to see how you might use a plain sky, how you might compose it. But this is one aspect. Again, including a human element will actually creates a completely different image. And this kind of I think creates a stronger image. There's a human element to it. There's an emotion to it, and there's a rather more bigger context to it that makes this image more enjoyable. So you don't have to like go out and just shoot random people. You can just include yourself or your family. And I think one photographer that has been shooting really nice images with this theme is Zahra Amiruddin. You should definitely check her out. Check out her Instagram profile to get some inspiration for this. And she also shoots diptychs and triptychs, which is something or another thing that you can experiment with. Instead of just a single image, you can create a diptych or a triptych to sort of lay out a story in a series of images, which would be very interesting to see. Um, Again, focusing on smaller elements and putting them together, a cloud with a jet flying by. And it's such a very obvious and mundane thing, but when you compose it the right way and edit it the right way, it adds a lot of poetry and meaning to the image. Lastly, as I said, experiment with different techniques. Uh, Motion blur is something I love using, and it's like can give you endless possibilities. Like it is impossible to recreate an image again. But also it's difficult to create a really good image. So you have to try multiple times. And this is something you can do even with smartphones, right? I think Nilofer has a really nice image of a moon shot from her home. So also check out her Instagram account. And so that is something that is a one thing that you can experiment a lot with. But also remember not to turn it into a gimmick, right? Don't just shoot just for the sake of using that one creative technique. ask yourself, what are you trying to convey through it? What is the story you're trying to create, or what is the message you're trying to convey? And then use the appropriate technique to convey that story. So this is again a simple image of a crescent moon, and another one. I experimented a lot right from my terrace, home terrace, and got these images. It's easier to do with longer lenses, I would say, but not that difficult, even with wide angle or a smartphone lens. It's easier to do obviously in the night since the light is low, but even in daytime, you can use like an indicator if you have one lying around, and experiment with that. Another way, as I said, refractions, which again I think Nilofer already has shared even on better photography. What she does is shoot through an object, right? A pendant or a piece of jewelry, and that just completely creates a new way of seeing things. Even like the beautiful scenery that you see right outside your house can get converted into something magical and surreal. So what I would like to say is, yes, although I would like to see those standard landscape images, I would really encourage you to try something different. Don't worry too much about techniques or aesthetics. Just try to experiment, try to show a different perspective that maybe no one else has seen yet of the general random objects that you see around you, in comparison with the sky. Of course, the sky needs to be a main part of your image. So I think these are a few tips that you can use, but not very hard and fast rules as such, and really try to think out of the box and try to create these poetic images of the sky with your imagination. Yeah, over to you, Nilofer.
Okay, so thank you so much, Sarang.
Anybody has queries, of course, feel free to ask. I will love to guide them.
Yeah, I mean, your Instagram handle is mentioned with each video, so in case if
Absolutely.
any query, they'll send it to you. All right. Thank you
Sure,
so
sure.
much.
Thank you.